Hey, welcome back, you bunch of weirdos. This video series has just been a buttload of fun for me. Thank you for responding so well to it. My name is Travis Nielsen. This is
Parallax on the web.
Today we're going to revisit an element that we made a few weeks ago, the one I call Periscope. We're going to add a subtle effect to it. First, we're going to increase the rate at which the parallax occurs. Why? Well, because mostly I wanted to see if I could animate the background position. And secondly, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to turn this Periscope into a really cool call to action? In other words, we're gonna make it a clickable link. So we're gonna create this effect where as the user scrolls, a promotional message will appear over the Periscope. In this case, we're promoting our fall line of suits. They're very nice. And starting at only $99, that's a good deal, really. Notice that the fade in of the overlay is not triggered by an event, but it's continuously controlled by the user scrolling. I like that. Let's get into it. We're gonna go down to the Periscope and we are gonna fix it up something nice. The first thing we wanna do is accelerate the movement in the background. Right now it's just fixed to the window, right? And the circle is moving up and down over the fixed image. But I wanna start sliding the image in opposition of the opening of the circle itself. So firstly, let's look at the markup and see what is contributing to this circle going over this face guy right here. And we scroll all the way down in the bottom of our index.jade, we can see that this is all just one div. And it may seem like there's a lot of things going on there, but as you saw from the previous video, it's really simple. There's just one div with a background of attachment fixed, and it's just sliding up and down against its background. The background is attached to the window, right? And that's important to note. So let's look at the layout, .css or sass to see how that works. We have a height of 640 and a width of 640 as well on this window. I'm calling it a window. It's a div with a border radius of 50%. This purple bit right here is attachment fixed. That's the magic. That is how this is working. And what I want to be doing right now is I want to be moving this. So right here we have position center, and that's the left and right, or at least the x-axis, and 0 pixel for the y-axis. It means it's anchored to the top. It could very well just be top right here, but we have 0 pixels, and that's good because I want to take the 0 pixels, being an integer, I can add to it, which will cause the appearance of the background shifting behind the large window. And we're going to do that almost completely with JavaScript. So let me show you what's up. We're inside of the scroll function here, and we're going to put a new conditional statement. We're going to say if wscroll is defined up here as basically the scroll position you're at. How far have you scrolled down on the page? So if scroll position is bigger than the next thing, which is going to be the position of large window. So I'll use a jQuery objective here of .large dash window, and I want to say .offset .top. Actually, offset parentheses .top. So we can see, we say if the scroll is further down than the large window, offset top, which means basically is the window in view. What will happen if the scroll position is equal to the large window, offset top? Well, let's write a console log yo. And what we're going to be looking for here is when a bunch of yo's start showing up in the console. And you see that it hasn't happened yet, even though the scroll window is present on the screen. It's going to happen when the scroll window hits the top. See that yo happens? And that's a little too late for what we want to do. We want the whole background position to be happening this whole time here. So this is a little late. So we want to add to this, say we want to take the number of the large window offset from the top and just remove a certain other number from it, and that will be basically the height of the window itself. So I'll say window dash height, or dot height. So now it'll be the offset top minus the height of the window. So it should be when the what is this thing called? This window? What is this thing called? Large window. Oh, I'm getting confused because the window is the document window, and also I called this thing a window. Okay. So our yos should start happening when the window, the large window, enters the viewport, not when it's at the top of the viewport. Let's scroll down and just validate that. And here it is. There it is. Okay, it starts yoing right about there. That's exactly right. Okay, so this is the right position that we wanted to target. What's going to happen when we scroll to this position? Well, the first thing we want to do is again, select that large window. And we want to start offsetting its CSS position of CSS property of background position. So I'll use jQuery CSS, and inside of it I'll say background position, and comma, and then the value of that. So remember our CSS here, we said that our background position value is center 0 pixels. So let's just start with that. Center 0 pixels. Oh, I've got an error here. It's not a comma. It's supposed to be a colon. Or yeah. Is that better? Okay, now it's happy. Go back to my console. Okay, so let's see. When our yo hits, or well, actually not when our yo hits. When our window hits the viewport, we should have a inline element or an inline style of 0 pixels. Okay, so that's actually doing the right thing. But now we want to take this. Where were we here? Now we want to take this 0 pixels and target it as something that can be a variable. That while we're scrolling, it's going to start moving. So let's remove the put it in quotes and then put some pluses around it, so that we can input some variables. W scroll is going to be our active ingredient. That's going to be the thing that we're going to base all of the action on, because that's the thing that's going to be changing from moment to moment, when you're scrolling. So I'll say that we need to put pixels here. So I'll say that it's going to be center and then W scroll pixels. So however many pixels you scroll down is however high that's going to be. Oh, and that's almost exactly what I want. That's almost exactly what I want. The problem here, though, is that I'm looking at his abdomen when I should be looking at his face right about this position here. And that's because the top of the image is way up there at the top of the scroll page. So if I want to look at his face when the window is scrolled to the top of the viewport, I need to reset the W scroll to be equal to what the offset top of the large window is, right? Let me show you what that means. So I'll remove this many pixels from the W scroll, which is equal to basically this right here, large window offset top. So I'll copy that and paste that right there and save. Now that's what I wanted. I wanted his face to be like kind of front and center when this periscope gets to the top of the viewport. Oh, do I have a? And let's put that in parentheses and save. Okay, now when I scroll, this periscope is going to be at the top of the viewport, and I'm going to be looking at this gentleman's face, not his abdomen. And that's because I offset the vertical position of the background element, and by how far the periscope is from the top of the document, right? I hope that's not too complicated, but that gives me just the effect that I wanted. Let's take this one step further, and I want to add a little bit more excitement to this periscope by, when you scroll into it, I want a promotional message to appear. So let's go back to the markup and we will look at what the promotional message should be. And I'll nest a div in there called promo text. And we'll say, I don't know, fall suits, because it's fall. It's not even fall right now. Anyway, from $99. That's a good price. That looks good. Let's see how that works out. Okay, so we have the text up here at the top. Let's put these all inside of a large window tint. Let's put this all in like a darker background. Okay, cool. So let's head over to our styles and let's talk about our window tint. It's going to have a background color of like RGBA, of black, and like, I don't know, 0.5 opacity. And it'll be a position absolute. Top, 0 left, 0 right, 0 bottom, 0. So what I'm doing there is I'm just stretching this window to its parent, and because it's position absolute, oh, actually I need to set this as position relative. What would happen if this was not position relative? Let me show you. I don't know. Oh, there it is. It's covering 100% of the viewport. So if I put relative on the large window, then that screen, that dark tint, will be on top of the periscope. So window tint, and then we have also promo text. Promo text. I want your color to be white. I want to be white text on black background. Let's go back to the window text, and it needs to be border radius 50%, because it's like it was like making a square on top of my circle. All right, and I want this text to be kind of like moved to the center of the periscope. So I'll say display flex. I'll say justify content center and align items center. There we are, centered, easy. And let's go down to promo color or promo text, and let's change up the font a little bit. Let's say font weight is like 100, nice and slim, and the font size can be big, like 50 pixels or something. 50. Ooh, that looks cool. I like how that bold, I like the from 99 is bold. I like it. So let's go to that strong that's inside there. And I actually want it to be on a new line. So I'll say display block, so it goes down onto its own line, like that. And I'll change the font size so it's less dramatic than the title of fall suit. So font size, maybe 30. Good, good. I want it from to be special. I want it to be less strong. So I'll put a span around it, so I can target it. And strong span. Span, what do I want from you? Let's say font. Let's take your weight back down to normal, 300, and your size, make you smaller, so it'd be like from 99. So the size can be like, I don't know, 18 pixels, and the style, let's put you italic. Ooh, from 99, I like that, that's good. Let's change your color to be a little bit less weighty as well, and we can do that by doing RGBA, 255, 255, oops, that's 295s, 5, 0.5, 0.6. Now you're a transparent white. Good, 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 good. I really like that. I think that all suits from 99, I think the line height is a little strong. Here we go. That's good. And is that what I wanted to say? Oh, it should have like a call to action. Let's go back to the markup and put an anchor with a href. This will lead to like an internal page that will be like the fall suits sale page. And I'll call this like the window CTA. And then we'll have a message like shop now, because it's a CTA. Shop now, that's a huge link. Okay, so let's go to here and we'll say, let's talk about this window, CTA. Well, I want it to be like a sexy little button, so let's style a button, font size, something like 20. Yeah, good. And let's get rid of this underline with text, decoration, none. And change the color from blue, of course, to that white that we like. And let's see what it looks like right now. Cool. Let's put a border around it to make it look like a button. Border 1 pixel solid white. Obvi. And then if you're going to put a border around buttons, of course, you need them to have padding. So padding, maybe like 5 pixels on the top and bottom and 10 on the left and right. That's okay. It could be a little bit more grand though. Let's say 10. Ooh, not 100. Say 10 and 20. Yeah, I like that. Looks good. And then when we hover over that button, which is the call to action, let's have a hover effect and just something simple. So we'll say and hover. Turn the background to white and make the color of the text black. So basically just reverse it. That looks good, but it's a little harsh, that little change. So we want to say muscle memory, transition, all, and it will ease it in about 0.3 seconds. And we'll use the ease in, out. Cool. All right, let's test it out. All right, that's what we want it to look like. This looks good. The fall suits, Periscope, like the overlay, the Promoscope, the Promoscope overlay is there all the time though. So I can use, again, our JavaScript to hook in there and just kind of fade it in as we scroll and let the user control the fade because they're controlling their finger, which is scrolling. So let's go over to functions and we're going to look how to do that. So let's go into this if, because this if statement is going to control all the things that are going to go on with the large window. All right, so what we want to do is use jQuery to select the window, actually the window tint. That's the black container that holds the CTA and the promo right there. Holds the window tint and CSS. And then really simply, because we want to do this fading in and out, so we're going to control the property of opacity, and its value will be set by our scroll, but let's say we'll set the value right now to be 0.3, whatever. So now whenever I scroll, it should be 0.3, and that will be set inline right there. So 0.3 right there. Perfect. So I want 0.3 to be an integer that's set as a derivative of the scroll. So let's work out what that will be. It'll be a var opacity is equal to this, and this is going to be actually, so let's throw opacity here. All right, so now let's figure out what that opacity is going to be. We know we want it to be, we want to use the active element of the W scroll. And then we have to kind of rein that in, right? So basically what we want to do is take this wild number of W scroll and make it a number that's between 0 and 1. That's our big goal right now. So how are we going to do that? We'll take W scroll and we'll minus it from we'll remove from it the window offset. So I'm going to do that again. Basically this right here. Large window. Offset top. And then we'll divide it by itself, W scroll. We have to put these in paren because we want the subtraction to happen first before it's divided. Okay, good. So what's happening here is basically when it enters, it's at -0 point, let's see. Okay, so what I'm getting is when our Periscope hits the top of the window, it's basically at 0. And then as it scrolls past that, it starts getting a little bit more opaque. So we want to set that to happen earlier, right? And we'll do that by saying, like, we'll say the offset top plus like 400 pixels. So move that down. Okay. So that's happening sooner, and that's good. We want it to happen 400 pixels from the top. That's reasonable. But it's not fading in fast enough. So let's take this number here, W scroll, and kind of divide it by something like 2 to make it multiply faster. So it comes in, it's not fast enough. Let's move it to not 5. I like that. All right, so when it's at the bottom here, it's not showing up at all, and then when it scrolls up to the top, it becomes opaque and clickable. Yeah, that Periscope though. Yeah. Wasn't that tutorial awesome? I felt like I was getting a back rub from a magical genie wearing hot pink spandex singing the theme song for Three's Company. I'm just saying it felt good. If you're enjoying this series, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. That way you can be notified when the next video is released. Speaking of released videos, these people will receive the videos a full 3 days early. These are my patrons. They make it possible for me to make all these videos for free for you guys. To learn more about becoming a patron, visit patreon.com/devtips. I will see you next week, and until then, keep on hacking.